For 8 years I treated Christmas Eve like a regular night. No decorations. No music. Just a quiet apartment, a lamp in the corner. And the kind of silence that becomes normal when you stop expecting phone calls. People assume estrangement feels dramatic. It doesn't. Most of the time it feels administrative. Like a form was filed somewhere that quietly removed you from a family. 8 years earlier there had been a moment. The worst moment of my life, when everything split. My sister had made a choice that hurt more people than she ever admitted. When the consequences arrived, my parents stood beside her. Publicly. Firmly. They didn't scream at me or throw me out. They simply decided she needed protecting, that I needed believing. I remember my father's voice that day. Calm. Careful. We're asking you to let this go. What they meant was let her version stand. That was the day I left. No final argument. No dramatic exit. Just distance that kept growing until it turned into 8 years. At first they called. Then they sent emails. Eventually even those stopped. Life fills in silence if you let it. Work, routines, people who don't ask complicated questions. Over time I stopped feeling angry. Anger requires energy. Distance requires very little. That Christmas Eve I had just made tea when the knock came. Soft. Not the impatient knock of a delivery driver. Not the confident knock of someone who knows you. 3 small taps. When I opened the door, a girl stood there. She couldn't have been older than 7. She wore a thick coat and held a handmade photo album against her chest like it was something fragile. For a moment I assumed she had the wrong apartment. Hey, she said quietly. I waited. My mom asked me to give this to you. She held the album forward. The cover was made from cardboard wrapped in red construction paper. Crooked glitter letters spelled one word across the front. Family. I almost laughed. Are you sure you have the right place? She nodded and pointed to my door number. Then she said something strange. She said you'd understand when you saw the first page. There was no drama in her voice. Just a child delivering instructions she had memorized carefully. I took the album. The girl didn't leave. She simply waited in the hallway. The first page opened with a soft crack of dried glue. And the moment I saw the handwriting, my knees gave out. I sank to the floor. Because I knew it immediately. My sister's handwriting. The same messy loops she had in every school notebook growing up. The page held a photograph from 20 years earlier. 2 kids in the backyard sprinkler. Me and her. Under the picture she had written one sentence. You deserved the truth 8 years ago. I didn't have the courage then. I stared at the words until they blurred. Page after page followed. Photos I hadn't seen in years, birthday cakes, road trips. Small ordinary moments that had once meant nothing, but now felt like artifacts from another life. Between them were notes. Short. Honest in a way that hurt more than accusations ever could. Mom and Dad believed me, because I told them you were angry and unpredictable. They thought they were protecting the family. I let them. My chest felt tight, not because it surprised me, but because it confirmed something I had spent years trying not to think about. Another page. A more recent photo this time. My sister standing beside a little girl. The girl from my doorway. Under it she wrote. This is Maya. She's my daughter. My eyes lifted slowly toward the hallway. The little girl was sitting on the floor now, swinging her legs quietly while waiting. The next page held fewer pictures, more writing. 8 years is a long time to live with a lie. Mom and Dad found out the truth 3 years ago. I finally told them. It broke something in all of us. I kept reading. Dad tried to call you after that. I don't think you recognized the number. Mom writes letters she never sends. The final page was different. No photos, just a message. I wanted to come myself. But I'm in the hospital now. Nothing dramatic. Just the kind of illness that makes people start counting the things they never fixed. Maya wanted to meet you. I told her you might not open the door. She said she'd knock anyway. My hands rested on the album. For 8 years I had carried a version of the story where nothing changed. Where the decision my parents made stayed permanent. But lives don't freeze the way memories do. I stood slowly and stepped back into the hallway. The girl looked up at me. Did you see it? She asked. I nodded. She seemed relieved, like a task had been completed. Then she asked something simple. Are you my uncle? The word landed strangely. Not painful. Just unfamiliar. I leaned against the wall, suddenly aware of how small the hallway felt. I guess I am. She smiled in a quiet, careful way, not excited. Just satisfied. Like someone had finally solved a puzzle she'd been holding. Behind me the apartment door remained open, warm light spilling into the corridor. For 8 years that door had stayed closed to my past. Now it stood open. And for the first time since I walked away from my family, I realized something uncomfortable. Silence had protected me once. But it might also have been keeping me from the rest of the story.